William, you know what I love about the Wouldn't You Tulip Farm?
What's that?
Their tulips, they're just astounding.
That is accurate. However, I like my tulips on this wine.
We'll share the tulips and the wine with you next on Garden Time. Welcome to Garden Time. We're at the Wouldn't You Tulip Farm for their Tulip Festival. We're actually in the wine bar, but there's all kinds of activities going on here. And later in the show, I'll be talking to Barbara about that.
We're also going to be telling you today on the show about some wonderful ferns for your garden.
We'll also be telling you how to deal with moles in the garden.
But coming up first, our tips of the month.
Well, it's getting to be the middle of April, and so I'm here with Jan. And Jan, you know, it hasn't been the best spring, but it is time to think about a lot of chores in the garden.
Sure, it's at least there are things that are blooming.
It is beautiful.
I have mowed a couple times, so spring must be coming after all.
And you know, we've noticed that trees and flowering plants, like just on the highways even, are looking more beautiful. So is it because it was a bad winter? Are we starved for color, or what's going on?
Oftentimes plants respond to cold and say, okay, I'm at risk, and they'll force more blooms than normal. A lot of plants set their blooms last fall or last summer, and so it wouldn't have had anything at all to do with the cold winter. But some plants will respond to cold and say, oh, I need to reproduce myself and make seeds and, and fruit, and so it can happen, and it is. And I think also too, we're acutely aware this year of, oh, it's blooming, and
right.
So it's not raining at the moment. So,
Jan, we talked about the beautiful flowering trees, but you have another idea about trees.
well, we've recently had a major windstorm in the Willamette Valley and on the coast as well, and our neighborhood lost 2 very large trees. And what I don't want people to do is panic and think they need to take all their trees down in case they fall over. Get a good arborist, a certified arborist, to take a look at your trees, give you an idea how they're doing. If you've got a double leader on the top of say a fir tree, you may have to take that tree out. You may be able to get it cabled. They may tell you that it's okay. It's better to do that, because if you start taking trees out, it's a symbiotic relationship. It's a grove of trees that you're in, and one protects the other, and they've been there a long time. You start taking them out, you're going to lose more trees, and that's what happened in this neighborhood. Somebody took out a big fir, neighbors lost their big oak tree in the front yard, and after that we lost our birch in the front yard. So it's a protection. And here the winds come from the southwest or the east. So keep that in mind when you're looking to see what's going to come down.
And so we also thinking about our vegetable garden. So we've started those seeds. So now what about the transplants?
Don't put them out too soon. The soil is cold. If they're warm season crops, keep them inside. Give them up plenty of light, because a lot of times we start transplants in the house and they grow for light and flop over, and then you put them in the vegetable garden and they don't do so well. So, and also keep in mind, we talk about vegetable gardens. You don't have to have a big vegetable garden. You can have a few big containers and on a patio or just at the back door or whatever, and plant all sorts of things. There's lots of compact varieties of vegetables available now. We mentioned last fall the Growing Your Own tabloid, and that's for OSU Extension, Growing Your Own, and you can find that online.
Right,
and
we'll have the link for everybody.
Right,
yeah.
and it just gives dates to plant whatever part of Oregon you live in, and you can figure it out for Washington as well.
Right.
And that'll help you know what to do.
Yeah, and we always have those links for everybody.
Right,
So that's a great reminder. Thank you.
Right.
And what about slugs? I've been deluged with slugs in the garden, so it's not too early. The winter didn't kill them off. It's kind of normal.
Well, what they do, the best time actually to get slugs is in the fall, before they lay their 100 eggs each. And they go down in the soil deep enough that they're not really bothered by the winter cold. And so, then there's all sorts of organically friendly slug baits out there, and just start to bait, and they're friendly, pet friendly as well.
Right, right.
So you could be starting to bait and do something there to keep them from eating up all your good
All my new
stuff.
starts.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And then weeds. So never too early to work on the weeds.
No, they're easier to pull now that the soil is moist. So it's a lot better than waiting till June or July and then thinking you better weed, because then you need a pickaxe to get them out.
That is so true.
But so keeping your beds cleaned up and weed free is, and mulch if you want to mulch.
And what about mulch? I mean, we always talk about it, and so it does many different things for our soils.
Number one, you don't want to put it on too soon in the spring, because although you want your yard to look nice and all that, but it'll keep the soil colder longer. So we usually wait till June, even early July, to put any big mulch on. But we're always using organic matter, leaf mold, compost, anything we can, just to continuously add organic matter to the soil, break it down, and so that if you have clay soils, that helps.
It does, and it's actually good because every time you water, it's kind of releasing some nutrients in that way too.
Sure, and as it breaks down, and also with pelting rain, we end up, if you've got a mulch there, you're not going to lose as many nutrients in the soil, spread it out a little bit.
Well, all kinds of good things to be thinking about in our gardens this month, and so please go to gardentime.tv and get the links to all of those websites for more information. Thanks so much. It is our plant pick of the week with Little Prince of Oregon, and I'm with Mark from Little Prince. How you doing?
I'm great.
So where are we today? This is a really cool place.
Okay, we are at Thicket, which is on Alberta Street, Northeast Alberta Street, and I just absolutely love this place.
Cool.
It is so charming, and the plant selection here is amazing. I've known Adria, the owner, for a number of years, and she's just done such a great job of putting this all together. I just love coming here.
And it's more than just outdoor plants. She also has indoor plants. She has pottery. She has really interesting containers. So really a place to come to.
Yeah, and she's got great staff here too who will be able to answer a lot of questions.
Oh,
so,
excellent.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
We are talking about ferns today.
You know what, I think sometimes they're really not used as much as they can be. So you brought a big selection.
Yeah, we grow some 30 varieties of ferns at Little Prince. So I have a few here I want to show. This is Dryopteris erythrosora. And one of the cool things about this plant is that you get this beautiful orange leaf out foliage, and also very nice fall color foliage with Dryopteris erythrosora. So it's a hardy fern. You know, ferns need shade, and so this is a great choice.
And those coppery ones will green up later.
Yeah,
in the
they will
season.
green up, and then they'll turn red again in the fall.
Wonderful.
So.
And these two are such different textures. Sometimes you would think they're not a fern, but really a
yeah.
fern.
And interestingly, this also is a Dryopteris. You know, it's related to that, and this is Dryopteris sieboldii. Got a very different leaf pattern, but also this is an evergreen, and it's a beautiful fern for, you know, in that shady spot that you've got to fill.
Nice, and that's really interesting.
So this is Phyllitis scolopendrium undulata.
It's wavy.
And so the undulata comes from these wavy forms in the leaves. There are quite a few different forms of Phyllitis scolopendrium. So it's also called hart's tongue fern, and it's got, you can see some fronds here that are starting to curl up. They're just lovely when they just pop out.
So maybe a little housekeeping about ferns. So the evergreen ones, what should we be doing this time of year?
Yeah, so this time of year, if you've got fronds that are looking bad, or even if, you know, you can take, you know, even like a western sword fern, you can take all the remaining fronds off and just let the new ones, they'll be unfurling now, and so
don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid to cut them back.
Don't be afraid.
No, not at all.
And then one of the ones I think that's so cool that everyone should have if they have the space is chain fern.
Yes, so Woodwardia unigemmata is probably my favorite fern of all. They get like 6 to 8 feet long
really
fronds,
big.
and they're just absolutely gorgeous. One of the if you want to see a big version of this, one of the greatest gardens to see it in is the Rhododendron Species Garden in Federal Way, Washington, which is also the home of the Hardy Fern Foundation. And they have a stumpery there. And so a stumpery is a really cool idea where you take a fallen tree, or so you just have a stump and you turn it up so it's like if the tree were laying out on the ground,
Okay.
it's not there anymore, but that stump is just standing vertically. And you can plant little pockets of ferns into it and create just a beautiful kind of vertical landscape, almost like a living wall, but you're using ferns and other woodland plants for it.
Oh, that would be lovely.
So, yeah.
That-
So, yeah, that's a great one.
Idea. Good idea.
So this is an Ethereum ghost fern, and these Ethereums have very delicate foliage. They they might trail down a little bit too. We've got one called Silver Falls, which has just beautiful silvery foliage. So
pretty.
very nice.
Really, that light green really kind of offsets the other green of these ferns.
And Adria has a favorite fern. I want to bring her in.
There
and,
she is.
Yeah, so this is Asplenium trichomones.
Yeah, or
So-
maidenhair spleenwort, and that is one of my very favorites. It just looks so delicate, but it's super hardy. It made it through that ice storm, no problem. Looks great year round. Can actually dry out fairly well, and it's gorgeous in mass plantings. I have it with Solomon's seal in my deep, deep, deep shade, and it looks lovely.
About how tall does it get?
You know, it doesn't get a whole lot taller than this, but
Yeah.
it looks great. It kind of spreads and creates a nice little colony.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
probably my second favorite fern. So that's the giant chain and then the smaller one.
The opposite
Yeah.
end of the spectrum. Well, as you can see, we all love ferns, and there's so many different ones from Little Prince of Oregon. So please come down to Thicket or contact your local favorite nursery and get some ferns today. Thanks so much, everybody.
Yep, thank you.
This week's plant pick is brought to you by Little Prince. Our plants won't croak.
Color, color, color. When you think of your garden, think of color. Then think of Margie's Farm and Garden. High quality plants and great customer service are our trademark. We make sure you're happy with every purchase. Whether you're a first-time gardener or a seasoned professional, we'll help you be successful every time you step into your garden. Vegetables or herbs, hanging baskets or perennials, trust Margie's Farm and Garden, just off I-5 near Aurora.
Little Baja is your source for a whole lot of terracotta and concrete too. From bird baths and benches to Buddhas, bears, and fountains, plus the exclusive Baja chimney, we have an amazing variety of the finest in terracotta and concrete containers. Come check out our selection of statuary for any garden theme or setting. So for something for the garden, deck, or patio, come see us at Little Baja on East Burnside in Portland. Find us on Facebook too.
Millions of tulip bulbs transform the Iverson Farm into one of Oregon's most beautiful events. The family invites you to the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival. Explore our tulip fields and market, kids activities, and great food and wine. The Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival, open daily 9 to 6, now through April 30th.
For over 100 years, Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts have provided tree and shrub care services to the Portland metropolitan area.
From large tree and small shrub pruning, tree removal, and stump grinding, we can handle all your tree care needs.
Our arborists diagnose and treat your toughest insect and disease problems.
We also have organic solutions for growing and maintaining healthy gardens, as well as organic nutrition for your trees and shrubs.
Collier and Bartlett, environmentally friendly since 1907.
Since 1987, French Prairie Gardens has brought you the best in farm fresh produce, beautiful plants, and memorable family events. Spring is here, and now is the time to get your garden ready with our wide selection of bedding plants and hanging baskets. Experience the best the country has to offer at French Prairie Gardens.
You know, it is that time of year when things are really starting to pop up out of the ground in our gardens. One of the things that we often forget, though, is that maybe some of the plants are new or we don't have a lot of experience with them, and they get very tall and then they start flopping in the garden. So we thought it'd be great to give you some ideas on tools you can use to save that from happening this year. Let's start over here with this beautiful thing. We got this from Garden Gallery Ironworks. The thing about it is, it's very sturdy to begin with. And then it really goes into the ground quite simple, and you can adjust to height as you need it. This is great for like a stand of lilies, which is what's growing in here now, because these can often get 5 foot tall in a difficult situation, and they can even get taller if they're really happy. So this gives you enough space for all of them to come up, and they don't do that flopping as they get older. This is also great for grasses. Grasses do very well if you have really tall grasses, and then as the summer goes on, they start to spread out. This will keep that from happening. Another one is a really simple tool. It's just a pole with these bendable wires. This is a really great thing for something like a crocosmia, or maybe some wonderful gladiolas, because they can get very tall too, especially when they're young. And then as they grow, you can just bend it to help support them as they get more mature.
Now I have one that's for a single stem. This one you could use if you're maybe growing a prize chrysanthemum, or you have that one lily that you really want to support. You just make sure that you capture it and have the stem grow right through that hoop there. And we have one more to show you. It's for peonies. Now peonies are notorious for flopping over. You get those big beautiful flowers and all of a sudden the plant is laying on the ground. This one is a circular grid that you put on now when the peony plant is very small, and as it grows taller and taller, you raise it up to support the leaves, and then when the flowers come. And these little stakes here will go down deep when it's short, and as it grows you just kind of reset them so it supports the grid when the plant is taller. This way that peony is just going to look beautiful in your garden.
So, you know, all of us put a lot of time and effort into our gardens because we want them to be beautiful, and sometimes, you know, we just have some errors that we can't figure out how to correct. Well, the best way to do it is go to one of your favorite garden center, pick out any of these great selections of plant stakes, and then you're not going to be all floppy in your garden this summer. So it's a real delight for me to be here with Mark Biggie, and we are at the new Al's store that just opened up out here in Wilsonville. So tell me, what are we going to be talking about today, Mark?
Well, William, since we have this beautiful table set up here with vegetables on it, I thought we'd talk about
vegetables. You think it's going to be vegetables? So is there anything, let's just right off the start say, is there anything really different about growing vegetables on a patio and a container than just out in the garden?
There's not a lot. I mean, that's the nice thing about growing vegetables or edibles on your patio, is it's really simple. The one main difference is, you know, in your garden you might not have to water as much because you have your soil, but in containers, you know, you don't have the soil in the ground, so you're going to want to watch your watering a little bit more closely. But other than that, growing vegetables is growing vegetables.
And so you have a selection here. Is there something that you think does better, or have you just picked these to go over stuff that grows well?
Yeah, these are all just basically, we grabbed some things that anyone can grow well on their patio.
Nice.
Whether we're talking in containers or if you do a little raised bed on your patio. These are all, you know, great choices for things that won't take up a ton of room, yet you can get good production off of right on your patio or porch.
And I've noticed right off the bat, I see tomatoes. Yeah. I would have never just jumped into tomatoes with containers, but you think these will work well?
They will. They work great, especially, you know, with the tomatoes. It's nice. You can get tomato cages. You can get things to grow up vertically.
Right.
You know, they don't have to sprawl all over as they sometimes do in the garden.
Yeah. And so I would think on a patio you would want things that might not do a lot of sprawling, though, because you don't have that much space.
Right. Yeah, it's a great idea to really pick things that will spread out more.
Okay. And then I see a lot of herbs. You're saying that's okay too?
Herbs are great. They're really nice because you can cut those and they'll just keep growing, but they're nice and handy and they're fresh all the time.
And then last I'm seeing some great strawberries. I wouldn't have ever made a connection of edibles like fruits and berries in containers.
Yeah, they do really well, especially, you know, you can get individual containers that are perfect for strawberries that have the pouches on the side, or you can put those in your containers on the edges and let them trail over. They work well both ways.
I do see some Espoma products here. I'm assuming that there's still going to be the same process of how to fertilize and stuff like that in a container.
Right, absolutely. You know, things like your tomatoes, they're going to like some lime in the soil.
Right.
That really helps them grow. And then I just brought up some organic fertilizers. I think it's really important. I think it's a great idea to use organics on all your edibles.
Right. Well, it certainly is. And then, you know, let's say that I'm a brand new gardener. I come in here to Al's and I've seen the show and I want to do this. Is there some way that can even help them pick out things that are better suited for containers?
Yeah, we've started that just in the last couple of years. We start putting a little icon on things that are great for patio They're
Really?
what we call our patio picks. And so you can look for that little icon and you know that that's something that's going to grow a little more compact and work great in containers.
But then, of course, anytime that they come shopping at Al's, they can talk to anybody in the edible area and get all kinds of information to help them too, whether on the patio or in the garden.
That's right, just look for purple.
Well, there you go, and that's easy to do. So for more information on this great idea of growing edible stuff right outside your door on your patio, go to gardentime.tv. We'll kick you over to their website. You can find the one that's closest to you and go get all the information and the beautiful edible stuff that you need. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you, William.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
I've been a Capital Subaru customer for 15 years, and one of the main reasons is because they treat me well and I want to shop local. The service department is excellent, and I always feel like I'm taken care of here. In fact, they call me now even after I've driven off the lot to remind me to come in and get my car washed. That service. One of the reasons why I like coming to Capital Subaru, actually, they have the dog area, and I can just walk my dog around the whole area and we can enjoy the outside. I got it my way on the Parkway.
Over the 30 years that our family has been in the nursery industry, we've learned that anyone can supply a customer with plants and garden supplies. But it's supplying those plants and supplies backed by a knowledgeable staff that can transform a garden and take it from ordinary to extraordinary. That's what we do at Sagawa Nursery. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
Since 1926, Bonide has worked with homeowners to make their homes and gardens beautiful. If you have a garden problem, Bonide has the answer. Tired of slugs eating your flowers and vegetables? Use Bonide's fast-acting slug and snail bait. One application will last up to 4 weeks. Use Bonide slug and snail bait and get your garden back. Visit Bonide.com to find a local retailer and to download your free Bonide Problem Solver app for your iPhone or Droid.
Well, it's tulip time at the Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm, and I'm with Barb. And Barb, you know, it's not been a good year, but the flowers look beautiful.
Oh, the flowers are gorgeous. You know, that like you say, it's been cold, it's been windy, it's been wet, but tulips like it that way.
Oh.
Not too wet, but you know, the coolness. You know, if you remember last year, it was so warm, so hot. Tulips don't like that. We had a small bulb crop. We had to bring in a few new varieties from Holland. So this year, the color's spectacular.
So really, the season's gonna be longer because of the cool weather.
It will. We peaked at the end of March last year. This year, we're saying Easter's going to be peak, but I'm looking at the field as cold as it is, it's going to be beyond. We're going to have great color through the end of the month.
So really come out for Easter with your family, so that'd be something different because you'll really hit it well.
Oh, we'll hit it well. We've got an Easter egg hunt on Saturday, and it's staggered, so just come out with your kids, get a little muddy, and have some fun. And then we have an Easter sunrise service on Sunday.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I noticed that the fields are kind of split this year, so that's something different.
Well, it is. This is kind of a small field, this footprint in the middle. So when we were in this field last year, it got a little crowded, so we decided to plant 2 fields this year. So we've got this field and what we call our north field. And it spreads people out, so you know, it might seem like there's a lot of people here, but there's still areas you can get out and just enjoy the openness.
That is nice, because you want to enjoy that whole experience. You want to come out, take pictures, and just walk and just enjoy the day.
Right.
So besides the Easter weekend, what else can people come out to do?
Oh, there's everyday things that go on. There's a kids area where there's bounce houses and pony rides, things like that. We've got little cow carts where you just grab one of those cow carts and you'll find them randomly throughout the field and take your kid for a ride through the field. We've got our own cow train rides where you go out through the mud. This year you get a little muddy, so prepare for that. It's a bumpy ride.
William and I did that one time. It was so much fun. We got to sit in it. We had a blast.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We also there's a lot of food out here too. So if you haven't had lunch, there's great sausage. We work with Mount Angel Sausage, and they have some stellar sausages. And then we have Mexican food as well. Wine. We have our own vineyard now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so we've got several varieties of wine that are in our wine bar.
And I know we're going to go over to the wine bar in just a minute and go talk to Laura, because that is a really cool place too. But there's other beverages too. There's sodas and things like that for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Barb, we really just touched on a few of the activities that go on here all week and all weekend. So where can we go for more information?
Well, if you go on our website, we have a list of all the activities that go on out here, as well as pictures of what the field looks like. We've got a field report that we update daily, and you can go there and see if it's a good time to come out.
And what's that website again?
Woodenshoe.com.
And you talked about wine, so we have to go in and see the newly remodeled wine bar. So let's go see Laura.
That sounds good.
Great. For another part of this experience is coming to the wine bar, and I'm with Laura. And Laura, this is great. You've really expanded this area.
Yeah, we've been slowly building it out. We've kind of moved it around a little bit. We have a longer bar, and we've included more things this year.
It's really nice.
Oh, thank you.
And tell us a little bit, because you guys not only grow tulips and other crops, but you grow wine grapes too.
Yes, we do. We have about 8 acres of wine grapes, and so all of our wines are, we grow the grapes ourselves.
And you have some different varieties that you do. You don't hear about that all the time.
Yes, we're real proud of our wines. We grow an Albarino grape, which is a Spanish white. It's light, refreshing. We have a heavier red called Maréchal Foch, which is, just on the heavier side, great winter wine. And from the Maréchal Foch, we have created a port-style wine now.
Wow.
And so it's aged in barrel for 3 years. It aged in oak for 3 years, and we're releasing that this year.
That is nice, because you have something for everyone then. Because if you're really a red drinker, or you like those lighter ones, so it's the whole gamut.
Yes, and a Moscato. We have a sparkling Moscato that's very popular. We usually sell out of that one during the festival too.
And I know that you know friends of ours from Feckin Brewery, and you also carry one of their beers.
We are very proud of our the Feckin wine that we sell here, the great family brewery that we now carry several of their beers. We've expanded our bar here to have beer on tap too. So.
And I also like it that you're out in the fields enjoying the tulips, but then you can come in here, relax, it's undercover, there's a little bit of heat.
You can get warm. You can come in here and have a glass of wine and kind of we have a view from here of the vineyard and the tulips, where you can stand and have a glass of wine and some gift shop items to explore.
Yeah, it's really, there's something for everyone when you come. So really go to the website and check out the bloom time and all of the other activities that are happening every day of the week, even the weekends. And you can come out, have a glass of wine, go see the tulips, and then just enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
Well, have a great week.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery, where spring is our favorite time of year. It's the time to prepare your garden for planting. We invite you to get a jump on spring with our huge selection. Let Portland Nursery's staff of professionals help with groceries you can grow. We've got the seeds, veggie starts, and expertise to ensure your success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of classes and special events. Portland Nursery, helping make your backyard your favorite destination at 50th and Stark and 90th and Division.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years, with the help of your friends at The Wall.
Your garden is only as good as the ingredients you use. That's where Black Gold can help. Black Gold seedling mix is formulated for successful seed germination and strong seedling growth. Black Gold seedling mix is organic and OMRI listed, so you can start this year's organic garden outright. Look for Black Gold at your local garden center or go online to blackgold.bz. Black Gold, all the riches of the earth.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terra Casa.
Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terra Casa has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terra Casa.
Terra Casa in downtown Damascus.
So you might not know this, but April is the National Safe Digging Month, and I'm here with Scott from Northwest Natural because you guys already are part of a program that really helps gardeners dig safely in their yard. What is that about?
Absolutely. There's a national program, and you can use it in Oregon or Washington, anywhere around. You just call 811 before you dig, and all the utilities that are in the area that you're going to be working will come out and put paint on the ground or mark the area so that you know where they're at.
So utilities, that's a word that involves a lot of different things, I would think. What are utilities?
So obviously we're a natural gas company. You'll find the power companies come out, or cable or communication companies come out, water, sewer.
So really, everything that we get that comes into our home pretty much comes through the ground a lot of times.
Correct, and obviously in your front yard or your backyard, you never know where they're at.
Well, now, as a gardener, I look at, with shovels that I use, and, I'm never really going to dig that deep, except if I'm putting a tree in or something, but you really suggest that even if you're just going to use a regular spade, maybe 12 inches, you should call.
Correct, yeah. The law says that anytime you dig over 12 inches, you're supposed to call 811. But we recommend that you do it anytime you're going to do any type of digging in your yard. If you're planting a tree or fence posts, obviously those times you'd be digging more than 12 inches, so you'd be required to call by law. But even if you're just planting flowers or moving some shrubs around, it's just a good idea. It's a free service. They'll come out and mark it.
Well, a couple of things here. First of all, I think that a lot of times people forget that there are things that change in the ground. So even if you think, I'm not going that deep, there can be some increase in movement. So you might be hitting something that you think is deeper anyway.
Absolutely. We'll come out and put marks on the ground for you so you know where we're at, but we won't tell you how deep they are, because as any time you install something, as time goes on, the depth might change due to whatever you might be doing in your yard. And so it's just important, once you see those marks, just to dig really carefully over the top of them, regardless of how deep you're going.
Because if you don't do this, anything that I damage while I'm digging, if I haven't, covered myself with this, that's on me, the homeowner.
Absolutely. So not only do you run the risk of potentially causing an emergency, there can be some pretty heavy, not only fines, but a bill as well that could come your way.
And so if you don't want to do that, this is really simple. All you do is dial 811, right?
Correct.
And then how long? Am I waiting a week, a couple weeks?
So you need to call between 2 and 10 business days before you are planning to excavate. So if you want to dig this weekend on Friday, just make sure you make your call before Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then all the marks will be down on Friday, and you'll be able to do any type of digging you do all weekend.
And this whole program, this is free. I don't have to pay you to come do this.
No, it's absolutely free. And they say that if you call for a locate, it decreases your potential to have a damage by 99%.
So Scott, even with this great free program you guys are working with, you still have incidents occur.
Yeah, we do. Every day we have damages. In fact, damages have been on the rise for the last couple of years, as has construction in the area. So it's not a big surprise that they would go up as well.
And what are you holding here? What are these pipes?
So I just brought a couple of examples of what pipes you might find in the ground. This would be the size of just an average household service line, and it would run up to your house. So if you're digging from the street up to your property, you might find a pipe like this. Out in front of your house, you might find this as a gas main that might be serving a whole neighborhood. So somehow they'd come off. So these are things you might see. These are plastic. We do have steel lines in the ground as well. But if you can tell they're fairly malleable, you can nick them with a shovel. So.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What if I called, I started digging, thought I was being careful, and I realized I've ticked that. Even if I don't smell gas, I should still call you guys, right?
Absolutely. Anytime you think you hit any utility, whether it's gas or power or cable, and you scratch the coating on something, you want to call right away. We want to respond. We want to make the call whether or not it's safe to leave in the ground.
Well, there you have it, and this is a great month if you've never done this before, because we're all going to be planting soon and digging in our gardens. It's a free thing, free 811. Call them, set up the time, and then do your digging with some confidence. And we really appreciate Northwest Natural for stepping up and coming out here and telling us how we can make our gardens and our whole neighborhoods more safe. Thank you so much, Scott.
You're welcome.
Why have a yard that looks like everyone else? French Prairie Perennials can give you something different by using our unique form of landscape design, visualscaping. We can give you a landscape as unique as you are. Focusing on year-round color and low maintenance allows you to relax and enjoy your yard all 12 months. On-site plant demonstrations allow you to see how beautiful your garden will look before you buy. Give us a call or stop by our retail location on weekends. French Prairie Perennials.
DRAM is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. DRAM products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. DRAM for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Judy,
Yep.
do you remember when I asked you if you liked me? I mean, if you really liked me?
Yeah, I liked you on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I need you to do that again.
Well, we really need everyone to like the new Facebook page for Garden Time. So you just go to gardentime.tv and click on the Facebook icon and like us again for our brand new page.
At Garland Nursery, you'll find
Top quality plants,
4 generations of garden know-how,
fun and fantastic garden decor,
and the best in garden supplies.
Come visit us at Garland Nursery.
since 1937, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
Well, it's springtime and so much is happening in the garden. Well, did you know that the bats are coming back from their winter time in Mexico and California? I'm at the Backyard Bird Shop with Mitch, and Mitch, I didn't realize that they migrate. I think that bats were here all the time. So what's about that?
Yeah, so they're not here all year long. They're typically the 15 species of bats we have in the Pacific Northwest are here from April through September or October, and then the rest of the time they hibernate or migrate. So we have them here during the time that we would really want them here.
And why do we want them here?
You know, they are super beneficial, warm-blooded mammals, and so they're very highly insectivorous, insect-eating mammals, and they can eat up anywhere from 500 to 1,000 flying insects per hour each night. So they're really beneficial in terms of having a comfortable backyard, a comfortable area around your house. So we like to encourage them, and they're not dangerous to you. There's a lot of myths flying around about bats, and one is that they get in your hair.
You don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about it. Even short hair or long hair, it doesn't really matter. And also they don't carry rabies any more than any other animal might. So just want to say up front that that's the case. They're really not dangerous in that regard.
Yeah, so I know I usually notice some, I'm on my deck, it's getting to be twilight, and I can see them kind of fluttering. They look different than birds right about that time.
They really do, yeah. They get active when it's almost dark, just beyond dusk a little bit, and then they're active throughout the night. And that's when they really do their main feeding. And so they feed where they can find food. And so that is when there's lights or street lights, they'll go there. And if there's water sources, where there's a creek or a river, you'll likely find them there as well. If you don't have a source of water in your yard and you want to attract them to your yard, you could dig a hole and put a liner there, and that would attract insects, which would then attract some bats. And again, they're so beneficial if you want to have a comfortable place when you're sitting outside on a nice summer evening. This would be one way to do that.
Right, you don't have to put that spray on, so I think that's the best.
Exactly, that's a nice benefit, save money.
Right. And then what about all these houses? Maybe you can explain about how we can have them be more comfortable while they're here for the summer.
You're exactly right. So obviously we live in suburban or urban areas, depending upon where you're at, and so there are fewer places for those bats to roost during the daytime. So bat houses, as you can see behind us, we have a large variety of those right here. And so that is really something you can do that will benefit these native creatures and give them a place to hang out and encourage their populations, and like I said, make you more comfortable as well.
Do you want to show us some and show us how they go, because it's not like they make a nest. They just kind of hang.
You're exactly right. They do hang, just like you can see some of these nice pieces of rusted art right here. They hang upside down. So unlike a bird house, there's not a hole that a bat would enter from, and you don't see a hole here at all. But they would emerge through the bottom right here. If you can get a shot of that, they would go up through the bottom and they would hang in one of these chambers here. This particular one has 2 chambers, and the wood in there is intentionally rough, so the bats can actually cling from there quite easily. So this is a nice small one that we offer, and we offer a real range of styles and prices just for people's budget and what their needs are. And this is another one right here I think is very, very cool.
It is cute.
Looks quite rustic. It's made out of recycled or repurposed wood right here, and again, very rough in the middle. This is really quite big, and either one of these houses could house probably 20 to 30, 20 to 40 little brown bats. Big brown bats, probably fewer, but that's a very nice one right there. Kind of heavy, actually.
And this is the big one. So they don't mind being with their brothers and sisters
and their
cousins.
They don't mind at all. That is really a great question, Judy. They are social creatures, so they like to congregate in big numbers. So you want to give them space to do that. And so the bigger the house, oftentimes, the more you're going to get, and they're going to be more comfortable there. In this case, this is a bat condominium, and this has 4 chambers right here, and you can see that. And again, the wood is rough in there, so that could house probably 60 to 70 little brown bats.
Wow.
And that is an awesome bat house right there. And it's really easy to put these up in your area, in your house or an outbuilding or what have you. So these should be ideally hung at about 15 to 20 feet high. And then also you want to make sure, because the bats are flying at night, they have this echolocation system that they use to find their insects and where they're at. You want to have a clearance about 15 or 20 feet in all directions from where they enter, so they can actually make their way in there.
So they just swoop in and they crawl up for the daytime.
Exactly right. And you want it to be southeast or south facing, because they are warm-blooded mammals and they need to have that warmth to keep their body temperature at a safe level for them. So if you have that south or southeast exposure to that height right there, it could be on a house, an outbuilding, or even a pole. And we've got one right here that's
maybe you can open this one for us so that we could see, because I think that it's nice to see the inside of what that's going to look like.
This is a nice one. I really like this a lot. And some people don't have an appropriate building or exposure, and this would be a way to put one up independently. And again, make sure you have that at the height of 15 or 20 feet to get the most likelihood that a bat will actually use it.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more information that we can't cover here, but it really is important to bring these creatures into your garden and really help with that bug population. So come out to Backyard Bird Shop and see Mitch and the staff here at all of their locations, and you can get all that information. Mitch, thanks so much. It was really interesting.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you coming out today. Thanks.
Come to where the color is. Come to Egan Gardens. We've worked hard growing healthy plants for you so that your gardening is easy. Add sparkle to your garden with our perennials, container plants, and skillfully designed baskets and planters.
Didn't get your Martha Washington geraniums at Garden Palooza? You still have a chance. We have lots of colors with big and beautiful plants. See us before they're gone.
Egan Gardens, where it's all about the plants. We're located west of I-5 at exit 263 on River Road.
DRAM is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. DRAM products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. DRAM for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
The health and beauty of your garden starts from the ground up, and healthy soils begin at Grimm's Fuel. For the best in garden mulch, blended soils, and bark dust, choose Grimm's. U-Haul delivered or installed, Grimm's can do it. And if you're looking for a new lawn, Grimm's can do that too with our special lawn installation service. Grimm's is also the area's largest recycler of yard debris. The foundation for a healthy garden begins at Grimm's Fuel.
Millions of tulip bulbs transform the Iverson Farm into one of Oregon's most beautiful events. The family invites you to the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival. Explore our tulip fields and market, kids activities, and great food and wine. The Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival, open daily 9 to 6, now through April 30th.
Your garden begins here at our local farm. My grandfather and father have nurtured plants here for 70 years. We breed Northwest hardiness into every bloom, and we take as much pride in your garden as you do. So when you're ready to turn your empty space into something beautiful, we're here to help by sharing what we know, inspiring your vision, crafting plants that meet your high standards. The best gardens begin and continue to grow at Owl's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and Wilsonville.
Well, it's springtime, and you may have an unwanted visitor to your garden, namely moles. Now, I know some people want to trap them and relocate them, but this story is not about that kind of a gardener. This is about removing them and trapping them and removing them. So we know that it's not for everyone, but there's some people that are just so frustrated with the damage in their garden that really a trapping and removal is the only option. So I'm with Don Sprague from Garden Gallery Ironworks, and Don, really this trap is really something that is so very effective.
This is probably one of the most effective traps on the market today, and the trap design itself is over 100 years old, so we've got 100 years experience with this very trap.
So you're telling me like the windmills and the gum and maybe that mole plant are not effective?
In all of our testing, we have not found them to be successful.
Yeah. So how could we use this in our garden?
It's really simple. First, just identify what you have. Make sure you have a mole, and a mole will be a perfect little mound of dirt that you'll just see popping up in different places. And you could have 4, 5, 6, 15 mole hills in your yard, and that could all be the results of one mole.
And what are they going after? Are they going after our plants, or are they going after like worms?
They're going after bugs, grubs, and worms.
Okay.
And a mole diet is mostly made up of that. And so then what they want to do is go through the ground, and they'll be looking for that food source. And that's really the only reason they're digging up your soil.
All right, so then what is a procedure to put this down?
Well, first off, find a hill, a mound of dirt that's kind of close to an area where you don't mind digging a hole. And then remove the soil on top of the ground, and then dig a hole about so big around, about 14 inches diameter. Go down about 6 or 8 inches, and you'll find that there'll be 2 little tunnels about so big around going in 2 directions. And they will be going to another mound of dirt. And then so you then just clean all that out really good, and the mole traps come 2 in a box. So put a trap going in each way, and the directions for setting it are in the box. They're very easy to set. And then leave the hole totally open.
Open, okay.
Because the air will flow into the tunnel system, and when the mole comes back into this area, he'll feel that draft, and he'll go to that opening, and then he'll be caught.
So it's pretty easy, and all the directions are on the box too.
Yes, yep.
And you put it down, and you're probably going to be looking at it in a couple hours the next day and seeing what
I recommend when we do our clinics and stuff, we like to say, put it down tonight, and then check it tomorrow morning. But I know you're going to be up in the middle of the night going out with your flashlight checking to see if you got him, because he's really a frustration to you.
It is. So really, you come to Garden Gallery Ironworks, they have beautiful things for garden art for your garden, but they also have this great tool so you can end the frustration of having moles destroying your garden. Thanks so much, Don.
You betcha.
Well, you know, so many of us have power tools in our little arsenal of garden tools, and I'm with Wayne Sutton from Steel, and it's like, Wayne, you're going to give us a great tip about adding gasoline to any of our gas power tools.
Yeah, you know, every spring you break out the tools, and usually the gas can that has the fuel left from last year in it. And the thing you need to remember is that gas is bad. Don't even suspect you might get by. You want to empty the fuel that's in the machine. They should have done that last fall.
Oh, you know.
Make sure this is empty and do it in a proper way.
Sure.
And then go down and get some 92 or better octane fuel, good fuel. Mix it with high quality mix oil, and then that fuel's going to be good for at least 60 days into the summer. Really, you don't want to keep it much longer than that. And the biggest problem, you know, people complain about alcohol and so on in the fuels, and the biggest problems we see from it is when it sets in the machines.
Sure.
It really isn't the alcohol. It runs fine, but if it sits in there, it causes problems.
So really, take care of your good tools. They'll really work well for you. You get all your chores done, and this spring, and your garden's going to look beautiful. Well, thank you so much for all of that.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature blooming advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
Walking into Standard TV and Appliance is immediately an awe-inspiring moment. Not only are there vast displays, but there are functioning kitchens.
To be able to stand in a kitchen setting and look at appliances and touch them and feel them and see how they work is a huge benefit for us.
Whether it's a contemporary kitchen or whether it's more of a classic setting, it gives people ideas and gets people excited about the finished product.
Since 1947, we set the standard. Standard TV and Appliance.
Yes, the weather is getting nicer, and you have to start being out on your deck. I'm with Diana from Terra Casa, and we really need to start being outside. It's time.
We do. We need some sun, though.
We do. But you know, they have so many pretty things here to kind of start that ball rolling. So what do you have? I love these coolers, which they look like just toys.
They look like big toys, but they're toys for us adults, but they're actually a functioning cooler. They all have a liftable lid. They have plugs. And they're all handmade, one-of-a-piece kinds. They're cars, there's red trucks, blue trucks, there's an
so
Airstream trailer, and this line makes a variety of recycled metal goods, all handmade.
I saw bird feeders and just like little garden art, little animals. They're really colorful and cute.
And planters, there's a little planter here that's a Volkswagen bus, and
so cute.
they have done a really great job. And it adds a lot there. It's a conversation piece.
It is.
And you can leave it out all year because they're lacquered and they're meant to be outside. So
nice.
yeah.
That is so cool. And you know, you can get other things for your table settings. I love all the linens because they just look so festive. You forget you're in your backyard, maybe you're in Paris.
Yes.
At a little bistro because they're just so beautiful and nice and bright.
It adds a great pop of color outside, which we're all in need of right now. And easy to take care of. This line is machine washable. That comes right out of the dryer looking just about like it does right now. No ironing.
Nice.
They're fabulous.
Because we're too busy having fun. We need easy care. Diana, you have so many beautiful pieces of furniture inside, but furniture for the deck too. I love these bright colors.
These are fun and they're easy to take care of, easy to maintain. They're heavy duty. They're not going to blow away. They're very comfortable to get in and out of. You have your standard Adirondack. You have an upright Adirondack, which it sits about 4 inches higher than the other ones,
nice.
and these things will outlive all of us.
And all kinds of colors?
Beautiful primary colors, blues, reds, greens, and then also in some earth tones, we've got like a slate gray and a black and a brown. Yeah, you have to look out to see what we have.
Definitely. And really one element is missing. You have it here, but maybe missing for our deck, our fountains. So let's go see your assortment.
Great.
These are such unique fountains. I love that they can be anything really. Any pottery that you have on your yard here can be a fountain.
Well, these are pots that we bring in as planters, as containers, but then we turn them into fountains. So you can take really any of the pots that we have in the yard here and create your own look. These come nested to us, so we take a nested set and make a fountain out of it, and that can actually be self-contained as well. With the water falls back into the bottom pot and make it a self-contained fountain.
Very nice, very nice. And these with just the two, that's really clever too.
Right, and depending on the kind of space, a lot of people need a smaller fountain for a smaller space. And a lot of people want the largest pot that we have, and they want the biggest bubble that we have. They can be more serene where you're not getting a bubble. And when we build these, because they're all custom made, we can turn we put a ball valve in them, so you can turn your bubbler up and down to your own desire. And then we sell the rock that goes at the bottom of the reservoirs here as well. So there's a lot of fun things you can do.
And you can just bring this all out to my home. I really just kind of say, I would love this, and you come and do everything, which is so nice.
We do. The guys will come out and they'll deliver and set it up, and they'll come winterize it for you over the winter and take care of it. And we have a troubleshooting page on our website, so if you have questions about how to maintain your fountain, they're not no maintenance, but they are low maintenance. So if you take care of it right, it'll last you many, many years.
And the sound is just so lovely on a porch or on a deck. It's really a nice thing to add while you're enjoying your outdoors.
Very nice. It's musical. Very musical, yes.
And really the selection of pottery for plants too is enormous here.
We got in so many new kinds and styles of pots this year. Really interesting shapes, interesting textures. Pots now with a lot of these drips that actually have a lot of movement going on, texture to the pot too. Just adds a lot, especially with a fountain, because you get a lot of movement when the water runs down the side of the fountain. So
Very pretty.
Lots of fun ones.
Well, we just have to tell you to come out here to Terra Casa, right in downtown Damascus. It's really easy to get to. Really, you can furnish your inside and your outdoors this season. Just come see Diane and her staff, and they could really help you have such a beautiful space for you to enjoy all summer. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Judy.
I am at Hoot Owl Farm in Sherwood with Earl and Nadia, and Earl is the inventor of a very cool product. What is the name of this product?
It's the SowEZ Precision Hand Seeder.
You know, and I know that you grow crops, and then you sell to different kind of restaurants and places in Portland and around town. And so, but you don't really use that in the field, but you use a machine like this to kind of seed your fields.
We seed big seeds in the field with, this is an Earthway planter. And it is also the inspiration for this.
Oh, okay.
This thing works very nicely. It has a disc in here, and you put seeds in there. As you turn the wheel, it picks up the seeds, drops them down a chute.
Right.
So I was thinking, why not do that in a hand seeder?
Sure,
And make life easy. On organic farm particularly, because you can't use a bunch of sprays to kill weeds and insects and what have you not. We start practically every seed in like a seeding tray like that. There are 4 cups to choose from. The smallest one up here is for brassicas, the broccoli and cauliflower, etc., that have really small, hard to plant seeds. And these 3 accommodate all sizes of pelleted seeds, and in addition to that, they also accommodate some roundish naked seeds too. The way you select is you turn this knob on the back in the direction of the arrow, and 4 clicks to a new seed cup. The 3 larger ones accommodate the 3 sizes of pelleted seeds.
And that's what these seeds are too, that Nadia's demonstrated, pelleted. So it's coated, so it just makes it easier to see that seed and exactly where that seed is going into the ground.
Right. What happens with little ones is they just do not like being planted with any kind of a machine. Seed drills have been around since Jethro Tull invented them in about 1701 or something like that.
Way back
not Jethro Tull of the band.
Right, the other one.
He wasn't.
The farmer, right.
There wasn't actually a Jethro Tull on the band, but that guy invented the seed drill, and it was a pretty neat object, really. You could plant seeds in a row, equal spacing, and the main thing about that is you could then cultivate with a horse-drawn cultivator. So
really, it's all involved and made farming a little bit easier. Every generation has new machines and new devices to make your life much more easy.
The main thing about those machines, though, is they did not like to handle small seeds. So somebody came along with a way to make the seeds bigger instead of trying to make a machine that was would pick those up. And voila.
Earl, if people are interested, where can they buy the seeder?
They can buy it at Territorial Seeds or Vessi Seeds. Those hot links are on my website, SowEZ.com.
Oh, great. Well, you know, this is a great product. If you're into any kind of seeding, it's going to help you so much this season. Well, thanks, Earl, and thanks, Nadia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Garden Time today, and thank you to the Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm for letting us come out and to film. And don't forget that the Tulip Festival is going on from today to the end of the month.
And you know, this is some of the maps they have out here of people that have visited literally from all over the world. And wouldn't it be a shame if those of us that live right here in this area don't come out and visit it?
So if you need any information about today's show or the Tulip Festival, please go to gardentime.tv.
We're glad you took some time to spend with us today, and we'll do it all again next week right here on Garden Time. Judy, do you remember when I asked you if you liked me? I mean, if you really liked me?
Yeah, I liked you on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I need you to do that again.
Well, we really need everyone to like the new Facebook page for Garden Time. So you just go to gardentime.tv and click on the Facebook icon and like us again for our brand new page.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.